So in the last video, we talked about how to select a book style and choose a theme. And in this video, we're going to talk about how to get those photos into your book, off your computer and into your book, uh, and use autofill if you choose to do so. Okay, so you'll recall in the last video, I had selected the theme Fanciful White. And what that means is that Peekaboo has now opened up a blank book using the layouts from that theme, and it's ready for me to fill with photos. But it also has a nice tour that automatically opens every time you open the app, unless you decide to skip it. I recommend that if you haven't checked out this tour, please do. It has a few little tips that I think you might find useful, but I've seen the tour, so I'm going to close it. What do you want to name this book? How about Summer High Tea? Okay, great. Okay, so now it's time to find the photos. Select a source to get started. We've got lots of sources from which you can choose, including Flickr, Dropbox, Google Photos, and Facebook. Now, these are all great. However, I would probably avoid using Facebook unless you don't have any other way to get at those particular photos, because Facebook automatically will degrade your photos over time, so they won't come out as nicely in print. However, if that's the only place you still have access to any given photos, by all means use Facebook. Now, here's another option. Previously uploaded photos. These are the photos that you already have put into a Peekaboo project of one kind or another, whether or not you finished the project. Even if you barely got started, any photos that are in projects you can find right here. Now, this is just one of my accounts. I've made a lot more books than this, but let's look here. High tea. These are actually the photos that most of these are the same photos that I'll be using for the book. And this would be a really quick way to just select them all and add them. But actually, there are some photos in here that I didn't want to use, and I've changed some of them up. So I want to get my photos directly off of my computer where I have them on my desktop. See, they're on my desktop right here. The way to get them from your computer is to click My Computer. And if what I'm about to show you, you're still confused, do watch this little video. It's another way to show you how to get them off your computer. But you just click Find Photos Now. Okay, and you can see that I only have one folder on my desktop, so it's very easy for me to find Nora's High Tea, and I click it. And there are a lot of different ways that you can select your photos. Some people prefer to use this view mode, where you can actually see little thumbnails of the photos, and sometimes they only want to choose a few of the photos. If this is the case, you just hold down the Command key, and then you click the photos you'd like. So, let's say I wanted these 4 photos, okay? But I don't, so I'm just going to deselect them. Some people would select all of them by dragging like this, but I have a mouse trackpad, and although I did it correctly that time, a lot of times it doesn't work so well. So my favorite way, if I want to select all, is I use this view, and I start at the very top, and I select one, and I go all the way to the bottom, and I hold down the Shift key, and then I select, and now I've selected all of them. It's really easy to do. All right, so now I just click Open. Okay, now you can see that Peekaboo says I have 125 photos selected, and I'm going to Add to Book. Okay, now I've got a choice. It says lay out your book quickly. Do you want us to autofill your book by the date the photos were taken? You can rearrange them later. So a lot of people will just choose to arrange it themselves, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You just click on, no thanks, I'll arrange it myself. A couple of things. Our autofill has gotten pretty good, and your life is a lot easier if you just click autofill, even if you want to make changes later. So we're going to click autofill. I'm going to see what Peekaboo did. Then we can change our mind, rearrange things. So let's do it. Oh, okay. So one of the features of autofill is that it just randomly chooses any of your photos as the cover. And since my husband is not the subject really of Nora's Tea Party, he's probably not the right cover. And also, as a rule of thumb, I prefer to make my covers towards the end of making my book, because by that point I've really thought about all different parts of the book and what are my favorite photos. So let's save the cover for later, and I'm just going to hit the delete button of this photo for now. I'm going to just click on the photo, and you can either delete by clicking the trash can here or pressing the delete key. Now, I'm not actually deleting the photo. It is still in my project. It's right here. So the photo's still here. I haven't lost it. I've just deleted it from the cover. So let's have a look at the book and see what Autofill did. So this is the beginning of the party before the guests arrived. And I'm not sure I like the layout that Peekaboo automatically selected for this first photo, but I like having this as my first photo, so I imagine I'll change things around, but we can get to that later. This looks good. I like this page a lot. This is pretty good too. I probably will change this layout. I'm not so happy with Roland's head getting cut off there, but it's pretty good. It shows what it looked like before the party got started. Probably this won't be a main photo. I like these photos together. This layout might work. I might try another layout. Now, I won't have the shoes being so obvious, so you get an idea as I'm looking through it. Actually, it did a pretty good job of autofilling, and if I weren't super picky, I don't think the cookies work right there, but if I weren't super picky, I could probably just have this. This could almost work standalone. This looks kind of like a funny page. But a lot of these pages look pretty good with just a little tweaking. So overall, I think Autofill did a pretty good job at filling my book with layouts that I like and putting the pictures most of the time in places that I like. However, it's a computer and it's not going to get it exactly how I want it to be. And so there are 3 simple things that I'm going to teach you that you can do to make your book go from fine to really awesome and something you're very proud of, and also suits the story you're trying to tell with the photos that you took and are in this book. The 3 things are, first, you want to know how to change the photos from one place to another without changing anything else, just swapping photos either within a photo spread on a page or 2 pages, or from one part of the book to another. The second is you are going to sometimes want to change the layout. The layout that Peekaboo used to autofill doesn't really tell the story that you want to tell. So that would be number 2. And 3 is when you want to just get a little bit more custom than using our layouts. And you might have to make a photo bigger, smaller. You might want to zoom in and see a certain part of a photo. And I'm going to teach you how to do that too. And that will make it just a little bit more customized. Down the road, I will teach you, in another series, I will teach you some of the more fun things you can do with colors and lines and backgrounds and all sorts of things like that. But if you never get to that, these 3 things are going to give you the tools you need to just make a great, clean, beautiful book that you're proud of and will treasure for many years to come. So in the next video, I'm going to talk specifically about swapping photos and changing photos from one place to another.